Good morning, you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for listening, watching, whatever it is you're doing today to Kat's Second Act. Today's title of the episode was something that I learned today called The Power of Five. And the reason I wanted to bring this to you instead of your previously scheduled episode is because I was reading this morning in this book, The Power of Five for Network Marketing by John C. Maxwell. John Maxwell is the gentleman who wrote all the books about leadership. I just love that. So, I've always talked about designing your life and how important I think that is. Remember, I keep talking about the analogy of the little boat just floating along, letting whatever happens, versus being the captain of your sailboat and moving the sails and moving the rudder and whatever else it is you do when you sail to design your life and take you where you want to go and how important that is. So that's one of my themes of my teaching ever since I've started on the internet to myself. And you know, when you find someone who has a lot of passion for what they're teaching, it's usually because they need to teach themselves. I've heard it said from the pulpit multiple times that this is going to be a really hard sermon because I'm talking to myself. So same thing. When I get very passionate about a topic and tell you what you should do, it's usually because I'm talking to myself, okay? So that's the way it goes. Anyway, designing your life, choosing your second act, I think this applies to everyone, the designing your life part. The second act is kind of unique to people in a life transition, okay? But this part of it, I think, belongs to everyone, designing your life versus letting it happen. So I was talking about that all the time, and then this morning's reading, I was reading, and this book is I'm reading about the power of number 4. He has 5 powers that he talks about, the power of 5. Power number 4 is leadership. And I thought it was really interesting, the section that I came to. And this is a wonderful book. I highly recommend it. I was reading in it and trying to highlight and take notes about all the golden nuggets, and I almost ran out of notebook paper because there's so many. Actually, that's a misnomer because I'm using my iPad, but I mean my hand got tired, okay? There's a lot of nuggets in this little book. And it is a little book physically. The print is really little too, by the way. But anyway, so I came to the section in The Power of Leadership under leading yourself. And John Maxwell, I love this. It says, I'm frequently asked, John, what is your greatest leadership challenge? And my reply is always leading myself. Isn't that interesting? You need to learn to lead yourself before you can lead anybody else. I thought that was really powerful. So then he goes on to say, what is the first step in learning to lead yourself? And he said it's about living intentionally. And that just goes right into what I've been talking about and thinking about and working on in my own life for years, designing your own life, living intentionally. So what does he say are 5 things that if you are saying these things, hearing these things, thinking these things over and over in your life, these are signs you are not living intentionally. What 5 are they? Wouldn't you like to know? And I'm going to tell you, you don't even have to buy the book yet, but you should anyway. So, number 1, the opposite of taking control of your life and living intentionally is hoping that everything will work out. Now, I do that all the time. And there's 2 ways of doing that. What he's referring to is just, oh, la, 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 I'll do whatever and just hope it all works out in the end, you know. No, that is not living intentionally. That is not designing your life. The other part of that, though, there's always a good and bad with me, a yin and a yang, a positive and a negative. The other part of that to me is, as a Christian, accepting that verse in the Bible that says, God, my God, will work everything to my good. So I do know that God will take everything that happens to me, good, bad, in between, and make it work out well for me. I trust that. So will it work out? Yes. But if you are constantly thinking, hearing, or saying, oh, I hope everything works out okay, you are not living intentionally. What's number 2? Number 2 is thinking that someone or something will make your day. Now, we're not talking about the Clint Eastwood, go ahead, make my day kind of thing. We're talking about just hoping that something will happen. I'm waiting for my Prince Charming. I already found mine, so go find yours. Or I'm hoping that I'll meet somebody that'll offer me the perfect job. If you're sitting around waiting for someone or something to make your day, you are not living intentionally. You are not designing your life. What's number 3? Allowing others to have more control over your life than you. Now, I understand yin and yang, positive, negative. That there are situations, particularly what I'm thinking about is those who are a caregiver to someone who is chronically ill or terminally ill. You don't have a lot of control over your day, and there's not really a lot you can do. You have chosen, for good reason, to put yourself in that position. So in that way, you do have control, because whatever you think, you physically could walk away, but you've decided not to. That, my friend, is a choice, and I applaud you for making that choice. But every other situation, if you have another exception, I'd love to hear it, because I like to learn well-rounded. But basically, if somebody else has more control over your life than you do, if you are constantly putting out other people's fires, okay? And I learned as a church secretary to put a big sign on my wall behind my desk that said, procrastination on your part does not an emergency create for me. Now, what does that mean? It meant for me in that situation, if you put off writing your bulletin article until the day after it's due, the bulletin is going to be printed without your article. Sorry. Now, the first time something like that happens, I would probably help you out, okay? Second time, maybe. Third time, because you are considering doing procrastination to make my job harder. And that's just a silly example, but I'm talking about as a mom. I forgot my lunch. Oh, okay, well, I'll take it to you. Next week, I forgot my lunch. What will you give me if I bring it to you? Extra chores? Okay, I'll bring it to you. Third week, I forgot my lunch. I have so much faith in you. I know you will figure this out. Have a great day. Love you, Mom. Bye. Tough, huh? Harsh. Yeah. But don't let other people's fires determine what you get done in your day. Cut it off, or otherwise you'll be rescuing them for the rest of their lives. Trust me. Okay, number 4, waiting for others to initiate action means you are not in control of your life. You are not living intentionally. That means you can't take a step. You can't make a decision about taking a job, quitting a job, starting a business, changing the colors on the wall, buying a piece of furniture. You can't do anything without waiting for somebody else. That is a sign. If you do that repeatedly, that is a sign that you are not living intentionally. You are not designing your own life. Last hint from Mr. Maxwell about signs that you are not living intentionally. Last one, giving responsibility for your potential best life to somebody else. I would be rich if. I would live where I wanted to if they would do something. So if you find yourself saying those things, hearing those things in your head, listening to those things from those around you over and over and over, that may be a big sign to you that you are not living intentionally. You are not designing your life. So what do you think? Am I off base here? Are you really in charge of your life? Think about that. Are you really? And when you come to a choice that you feel like I don't have a choice, stop and think. Because I would argue that 99.99999% of the time you actually do have a choice. Everything's a choice. So think about that. And if you have an exception that you think breaks my rule, please comment, PM me, DM me, Instagram me, Facebook, whatever. Just let me know, because I am always learning. One of the reasons I love the nickname Cat is because cats are very curious, and I am very, very curious all the time. Thank you for listening. Now, for those of you still on, I wanted to say thank you and give a shout out to Ray Higdon from Rank Makers. I won my first prize. Guys, I don't win stuff. It just doesn't happen. If I have to earn all my life when I sold Tupperware, Avon, anything, if there was a contest that I had to earn it, I had a good shot of getting it. But if it was one of those where if you do this, if you sell $50, you get a ticket in the drawing, and every $50, and I could have 20 tickets in there and everybody else could have 2, it was never my ticket. And I'm not whining. I'm just saying that's just the way it is. I don't win. I'm winning in life. I'm very grateful. But as far as winning prizes, doesn't usually happen. So I want to say thank you to Ray Higdon and his Rank Makers community, I won one of their journals. And they have these 90-day journals, and I've always been intrigued with them. I have my own journaling system, but I've always wanted to look at it. And so I won one, and I thought, well, it'll take a couple weeks. It took like 3 days, and I had it. So thank you, Rank Makers. Thank you, Ray Higdon. They don't guarantee what color you're going to get. And I got one of my favorite colors, hot pink. You know my favorite color is purple, but my next one is hot pink. So thank you, Rank Makers, for my prize. I appreciate this, and I promise I will use it. I'll probably start August 1st because it's a 90-day journal, and I'll let you guys know how I like it. I like the way the pages are laid out. It's a little different than my regular routine, but hey, I'm always open to see if this is an improvement, okay? Because right now, it's on a piece of notebook paper. So I'll give it a shot. Thank you again, Ray Higdon and Rank Makers. And I hope you have a fabulous Tuesday. Love you, bye.